For years, viewers have welcomed Savannah Guthrie into their mornings as the poised and thoughtful co-anchor of the Today Show on Today. She appears steady under pressure, compassionate in interviews, and effortlessly prepared whether speaking with world leaders or comforting families in crisis. It is easy to believe we understand someone we see every day. The camera creates familiarity. Her warm smile, quick intelligence, and graceful handling of personal challenges have shaped a public image of composure and resilience. Yet television, by its nature, reveals only fragments. What we witness is professionalism, not the private wrestling that shapes a person. Behind the studio lights and polished delivery is a woman who, like anyone else, carries history, doubt, love, and unanswered questions. And sometimes, when life shifts suddenly, those unseen layers rise to the surface. The weight of a family crisis. In early February 2026, Savannah's world narrowed from bright studio lights to the quiet tension of Tucson, Arizona. Her mother, Nancy, had gone missing from her longtime home in the Catalina foothills. What began as confusion quickly became fear. Family members gathered, coordinating with local authorities, speaking softly over cups of untouched coffee, trying to remain hopeful. The desert landscape, once a symbol of peace and permanence, suddenly felt vast and indifferent. Savannah was no longer the journalist asking questions. She was the daughter waiting for answers. Long days were spent reviewing updates, comforting siblings, and absorbing the emotional toll of uncertainty. Public life paused, replaced by private anguish. In those still hours between phone calls and briefings, deeper reflections emerged about identity, history, and the parts of herself she had carefully protected for decades. Growing up under strength and expectation, Savannah's childhood in Tucson had been shaped by faith, discipline, and resilience, especially after the early loss of her father. Her mother became the steady center of the family, modeling endurance in the face of grief. Strength was not merely encouraged, it was embodied daily. Success meant perseverance, composure, and responsibility. Savannah thrived academically and socially, earning praise for her dedication and ambition. Yet, like many teenagers navigating identity, she also carried private questions about who she was beyond expectations. Adolescence is often a quiet tug-of-war between loyalty and self-discovery. While she respected her mother deeply, Savannah sometimes felt the pressure to meet an unspoken standard of perfection. She learned to excel, to adapt, to present confidence even when uncertain. That training would serve her well in broadcasting, but it also meant certain conversations were postponed, certain truths folded carefully inward, rather than spoken aloud. A private space for self-discovery. During her later teen years, Savannah formed a close friendship with a young woman named Eleanor, an artist with a thoughtful spirit and an open heart. Their bond offered Savannah something she had not fully experienced before: space to question, reflect, and explore her identity without judgment. It was not rebellion, nor scandal, but the quiet intimacy of two people learning who they were becoming. In a time and place where vulnerability could feel risky, that friendship remained private. Savannah was not hiding wrongdoing. She was protecting something fragile and personal while she tried to understand herself. For years, the friendship remained a steady undercurrent in her life, even as college, law school, and journalism carried her forward. Some relationships shape us not by public declarations, but by the safety they provide during formative seasons. Elena represented a chapter of growth that Savannah chose to guard carefully, building a career, guarding the heart. As Savannah's professional path accelerated, from local reporting to national prominence at NBC, her public identity became more defined. She was articulate, focused, and ambitious. With each promotion came pride from her family, especially her mother, who celebrated every milestone. Success reinforced the narrative of strength that had shaped her upbringing. Yet public achievement often demands compartmentalization. The more visible Savannah became, the more cautious she felt about discussing deeply personal aspects of her life. Not because they were shameful, but because they were intimate. In high-profile careers, personal stories can be simplified or sensationalized, stripped of nuance. Savannah chose discretion. She honored her friendships privately, preserved her memories quietly, and continued building a life that balanced motherhood, journalism, and personal reflection. The world saw polish. Those closest to her knew there was also depth, complexity, and careful thought behind every decision. When the past returns in uncertain times, Nancy's disappearance stirred emotions far beyond immediate fear. Crisis has a way of collapsing time, bringing past and present into the same fragile moment. Elena reached out during those tense days, offering support and reminding Savannah of the strength they had both cultivated in youth. The call was not dramatic, but grounding. It reminded Savannah that her life was not divided into opposites, but layered with experiences that all belonged to her. In the midst of coordinating with investigators and comforting siblings, she realized that secrecy and privacy are different things. One is rooted in fear, the other in discernment. She began sharing more openly with her brother and sister about the friendships and inner struggles that had shaped her. Their conversations were emotional, but tender. What might once have felt like a confession instead became a family reckoning, an acknowledgement that love can hold complexity without breaking. The courage to be fully known, standing outside under the Arizona sky one evening, Savannah reflected on the many versions of herself she had carried: daughter, journalist, mother, friend. None of them were false, yet she had often felt she needed to emphasize one while minimizing another. The crisis forced her to reconsider that instinct. Eleanor's quiet reassurance, "You don't have to hide," echoed not as a demand, but as permission. Savannah understood that honoring her mother did not require erasing parts of her own story. Nancy had raised her to be resilient, compassionate, and thoughtful. Perhaps true resilience meant allowing others to see the full picture, imperfections included. In sharing her past with her siblings, Savannah did not lose their respect. She deepened it. They saw not a double life, but a human one. The mask she imagined she wore dissolved under the realization that love, when genuine, expands to make room for truth. A legacy larger than secrets. As the days unfolded and the family continued searching for answers, Savannah recognized something profound. Identity is not a betrayal of upbringing, it is its continuation. Her mother's teachings about integrity, kindness, and faith were not contradicted by Savannah's private reflections. They were strengthened by them. The friendships, questions, and self-discovery of youth had shaped her empathy on screen and her steadiness in crisis. If viewers felt comforted by her presence, it was because she understood vulnerability firsthand. The story was never about scandal or hidden wrongdoing. It was about the universal human desire to be fully known without losing connection. In embracing every chapter of her life, Savannah honored her mother more deeply than perfection ever could. Whatever the outcome of the search, one truth remained steady: authenticity, though sometimes delayed, is always worth the courage it requires.